Now at 11, the rush to escape, families forced to grab everything and go.
Think wildfires are just a West Coast thing?
Bush fire that has begun destroying homes in Orange County.
Actually, 1 in 3 Americans live in at-risk areas. Many just don't know it.
A bit frustrating from my standpoint because so many people feel like, oh, that's just a forest problem. Oh, that's a forest fires. But yet we forget that they're happening right here.
Brett with Idaho Firewise pointed to a hilltop outside Boise where the tabletop fire showed the risk of wildfire in the WUI, the wildland urban interface, basically where development meets nature. Across the country, more than 2/3 of homes and businesses destroyed by wildfires are in the WUI. Think of the Marshall Fire in Colorado, 1,000 homes burned in the WUI. 2016 fire in East Tennessee, 2,000 homes burned in the WUI. Or the Camp Fire, nearly 14,000 homes burned in the WUI.
People would be really surprised at what zone they live in. It's not just the folks that are up in the brush. It's the folks that are, if you look at a map of Boise, the entire north end is in an ember zone. And it's up to a mile away from the brush.
Brittany is talking about homes that people think are safer because they're not at the edges of the WUI, but they're still close enough where flying embers can start a new fire. That's something that happens often when winds are driving wildfires. And it's important to note that America's housing crunch is driving this problem.
When you have restrictions on building density in urban cores and a place is growing, it needs more housing for people to live in. Okay, where will that housing go? And oftentimes I think it ends up being built sort of more around the edges of an urban area that are the places that tend to be at higher fire risk. They're in this sort of like intermix, closer to wildlands and so more exposed to hazard.
At riskfactor.com, a site from the nonprofit First Street Foundation, you can search your address for your wildfire risk. And that's important because risk impacts your ability to get or even keep insurance.
What I have been experiencing in Idaho is getting phone calls from homeowners saying they have been dropped. More and more of those phone calls are happening, and this is where they're headed, I believe, is they're just going to, we can't afford to do this, and very difficult to try to go find, a new company.
It's important to note that beyond California or Texas, the states with some of the most houses in the WUI are Florida, North Carolina, even Pennsylvania. First Street Foundation counted nearly 72 million homes all across America with at least some level of fire risk. And that means more Americans need to start creating defensible space around their homes and have an evacuation plan. We've got resources for both at lx.com.